Hey,
Hey
play.
guys, welcome back to Political Peasants Podcast. I know I said this in every single podcast, but it's been quite a while. I know, but we're back and ready to jump in some of the crazy discussions we're about to jump in. It's gonna be so crazy because I don't think we're gonna go so back and forth, but we want to give you guys our opinion on what's been going on lately. Roby's a wave, and this uh Senate judges trying to, no, Senate judges, like what, judicial,
The federal judges?
yeah, yeah, okay,
The
there you
Supreme
go.
Court.
The Supreme Court judges trying to and they were in a very deep discussion about because we have very conservative majority on the Supreme judges, so some of them were like, you know what, let's let's roll back Roe versus Wave, just because it's gonna be more it's gonna give more freedom to the American people in some sense, right?
Mhm.
And this so-called discussion was leaked out to the public, and a lot of people were like, "Hell no, you're not doing that. You're not rolling back on the rights we've been given to us." Especially obviously talking about women and their right to have an abortion. Choose
Yeah.
if they whether want to keep their baby or not, right? And obviously there's a lot. This is a very complex topic because we could go over the specifics and how people at what time specifically women who actually choose to go with an abortion take the abortion. And most people don't wait until the baby or the fetus is fully developed to do it, right? They do it in a very early stage when they maybe they didn't know that they were pregnant, and then now they want to have an abortion. Just
I mean, and in these, oh, well, we'll get into it later. We'll let you finish your intro.
yeah. So that's the one of the first topics we also want to talk about. An exclusive that just came out, I think, a few hours back, of a plot of ISIS. Here in the United States, there's some people who were obviously radicalized, and they were having a gather around online through the WhatsApp app, and their plan was to kill George W. Bush, the former United States president, from 2001, right, all the way to 2008.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's very famous, known for the war in Iraq, and what led us after that to the 2008 crash, right? Um, and
Other things.
and and because of that, I think lately we also going to point out that Bush had like a revelation to himself when he was giving a speech about the war in Ukraine and how Russia was
Issue.
handling. So, and then the other topics would be probably the water shortage here in the United States, and how
But California.
at least California specifically, right? And how they're dealing with it, and what kind of policies they want to and regulations they want to go through, and the kind of the talk around it. And then the other topic is the baby shortage formula, who has been a very prevalent problem lately, at least in the last week or so. And we want to jump in and what the Biden administration is doing to solve this problem, and how some politicians are trying to use this topic in their favor or against it, right? All right, so let's
Yeah.
jump into Roe versus Wade. Kind of we just kind of touch upon the fact that this was a very heavy topic, kind of like maybe a few weeks ago, right? Like 2 weeks ago. It's still very prevalent, right? Because people are still going out there and make a lot of rallies in favor of it, so we could
Yeah.
keep it. And I think the problem now is that some of the Supreme judges are like, "Hey, you guys are trying to bully us, but in a specific way, we don't want to. And
Yeah.
we're not gonna get pressure into making a decision just because the public favors one more than the other." All right. What are your thoughts on this, Kenan?
So when it comes to the bullying, I'm gonna agree with that. I actually prefer that, especially if it's by people. Only if it's by like people. It's not about if it's not about if it's like from like and the reason the difference is because Roe v. Wade is supported by like 70%, even like a lot of Republicans, um, which is important, right? So
Yeah.
they're making a decision that most Americans, the vast majority of Americans,
Uh huh.
that's number one. Two, um, like think like what Coney Barrett, and Kavanaugh both said that they weren't going to try to go against established law, which Roe v. Wade is. It's been there for 50 years now. Um, they're like almost immediately they're like, yeah, let's get rid of it.
Uh huh.
Well, not very suspect expected. Um, I really don't understand why. To me, it's not really that complicated. Maybe if you want to say, granted, if you want to, you don't want, granted, if you don't want, what do they call it? You don't want them to have it after like 8 or 9 weeks. Fair enough,
Uh
right? When the baby's like actually formed and can feel, fair enough. But prior to that, the thing is, we don't know how they're gonna affect it yet. They could strike it down altogether. They could just say you could move the date up.
huh.
The and after what, 16 weeks already,
Yeah.
right? In a lot of states, yeah. So I think they could move it up to like, hey, yeah, you can't get rid of it, but they could also do that, or they could just leave it. Well, they're not leaving it alone.
I mean, it was
but
working fine as it is right now.
but is that honestly, I think this is just a distraction of broader economic policy that are not being implemented in the United States that people do want. They need stuff like this to divide people. But honestly, you look at it, I don't understand why this is even a discussion. Well, women already have bodily autonomy, like even before the law, right? There's really nothing you can do to stop them, right? That wouldn't be a violation of their civil liberties. I mean, you see a lot of these Republican states that are passing laws or well, trying to pass laws where they're saying not only can they not get an abortion, but they want to see if they can stop them from going to another state to get an abortion. Which I was like, why would you be able to do that? Right? But that's the
Hmm.
point, right? And that's why I said, that's why I say like it's just kind of a waste, in my opinion. It's
No
just a waste
time.
of time. Yeah, because it's like I said, women already had the bodily autonomy. Because like let's say you just really needed the law to kind of that they had bodily. Because at the end of the day, it's like I've seen all the arguments, right? They'll say, well, do you think the dad should have say in whether a woman gets an abortion? I think that couple should talk about it. That's a
Yeah.
healthy thing for a couple to do. But whether you like it or not, whether the dad says yes or no, relevant, right? Mom could just say, yeah, I don't want it. There's nothing he can do about it. Um, it'd be bad for a relationship, but it's something that she has the power to do.
Yeah.
Even if you don't let the abortion procedure happen, right? There's hundreds of ways, get rid of a pregnancy. We wouldn't be able to stop her from. Say she just decided not to eat for like a year,
I
right?
think the problem here is that some women are gonna get charged for murder, right?
Yeah,
If they go through this decision, and
I
I
mean
don't
that's
know,
it.
I don't know to what extent they'll try to try to find out if a woman did had an abortion or not.
Yeah, I think a lot of women. Like I remember there was a woman. Was it Florida? I think he got charged with manslaughter for having a miscarriage. And miscarriages could just happen.
Hmm.
Miscarriages could just. So it's one of those things. Kind of have to. I don't think there's any way to actually do it violating a woman's civil rights. Yeah, I don't see it because, like I said, like I was trying to say before, it was let's say she didn't want to have, no, let's say she didn't want to go through the procedure. She couldn't. She could just starve for like 2 months,
So,
probably kill.
do you think
She
this is?
could get hit by a car. She could fall downstairs. These are things that happened before, right?
Hmm.
to use a coat hanger. I mean, you really can't stop her from doing it. Like you could make it illegal, but you can't stop her from doing it. Like, even if it's upset, you just like, hey, I'm gonna just go out right outside, right? I'll just go to the nearest blue state or catch a bus to like the side of Mexico, right? Do it and then leave,
Do,
right? Like let's say if you're in Texas or something.
do you think it could get overturned?
I think it's gonna get overturned simply because this is something that conservatives do is just get. I think that
And then what? We're just gonna keep on fighting for this.
yeah, I mean, the only other way to stop it is it has to be passed by the federal government
Hmm.
to do it. I think Joe Manchin killed that bill.
It's
His
all
saga
yeah.
continues.
It always comes
Uh,
back to Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema for some reason. Obviously, they are the ones who are holding everything on the Senate, right?
but,
Because
but, yeah, like ultimately, like says, like try to stay on abortion. Ultimately, it's stopping banning the procedure. It's not going to stop it from happening. It's just going to make it more. In fact, I would argue it's going to make a lot of things more dangerous. Now, Plan B, right, outlaw states, it's just going to make a black market Plan B.
yeah,
So
obviously,
if you're a gang member or a cartel member,
uh,
congratulations, you just have another thing to sell.
it's funny because they also want to obviously they want to ban contraceptives,
Right.
and
What about contraceptives?
they also want to ban,
Including condoms.
yeah, they want to ban condoms.
Right.
It,
They
it,
want to
it's
make it so sex is
it's like
exclusively.
I don't like why it's always the conservatives trying to go back in fucking time, right? And
I don't think it's conservative. I think it's the Republicans. I think the Republican Party, people who support them, I just say like they're really fringe. It's a really fringe group. Try to put their beliefs on everyone else while at the same time pretend.
it's just based on hypocrisy, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously
Right.
they'll learn from
So
history.
yeah, no, it's just
Obviously.
like some outright Republican conservative had this idea, and just because it's very popular amongst the base, right? And this is something that they just squish out from the base and get votes and get elected and shit like that. They keep supporting this. I'm sure some of these people don't even believe that. And it's like, bro, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, I
Anyway, it
mean,
doesn't matter. It's gonna get you votes. It's gonna get you popular. It's gonna get you on the topic. It's gonna get you trending.
yeah, but the thing is just that the inability to see the long term consequences of actions
They don't care.
crazy because like a lot of the rest of these are already the poor states.
They, bro,
And so now like and it's not like it's gonna stop women from having
like
to do it.
they don't care about educating the new generations. We know that we cover those topics where they just keep cutting the budget of education in the states.
Yeah, they're actually trying to
And
get rid of public.
oh yeah, and then let's not talk about what's it called? The race theory and how they're trying to ban books and stuff. Even
Yeah,
math books.
they banned math books for critical race theory. Not existing math books.
Yeah, but
It's
somehow
like that. I don't know why. It's like they're trying to create people.
it's like somehow they know they're wrong and they even want to like ban mathematics away from it because they know that mathematically are also fucking in the wrong side. But
I
some
mean, just like scientifically, though,
yeah.
it's really a shame. Really. I
It's
mean,
like,
the next generation in those states, especially, are just gonna grow up
it's just going is
so uninformed.
I just hate because we're just going in circles and circles because that the next generation is gonna have the same fucking problem, right?
But
A very
the,
uneducated populace where they're gonna
but, but,
choose.
but the thing is that uh, and what is there's a number of factors. Mostly, it's because of the but and that's those states are gerrymandered. So it's one of those things they didn't do they have to vote against these people because it's like even though the state really in a bad like they look at it and they say hey I'd rather keep voting Republican than even though like you can clearly see that it's not helping you like there's no way you cannot see it at this point you voted Republican for like the last 50 years you can't play direct what's happening there do it anyway it's because like I said there are people out there who believe that the race theory first the climate change financial ruin
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing I can tell you about it. Critical race theory is nothing. You don't even have to pay
And,
attention to critical race.
and I saw some of the videos online where people are talking about this, right? Like old generations in the '90s, how they say that they someone didn't even didn't even saw someone of color until they got to college, and
Yeah.
they even whenever the people talking about race in general, how like people of color had it bad for a long while, they say that they just don't like to hear about it because it makes them feel bad,
Of
and
course.
and that's the reason they don't like race theory because it acknowledges obviously the
It goes against the narrative.
yeah, it goes against
That's the thing, because it's
that
like, because you have it in the United States, there's a narrative that minorities, particularly Black people, I would
Mhm,
even argue Latinos, are where we are because Jay-Z, work hard, blah blah blah.
mhm,
But then when you look at the history of it, it's like, well, no, that's not exactly why. Like, especially African Americans, because like I said, the one thing that they like to attack Latinos over, Latinx. I know that's a race favorite word,
yeah, we hear.
Latinx. And
Thanks for
what
using
they
that
do,
word that we don't like.
what they attack them over is like, oh, they came here illegally. You can't say that to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like, African Americans didn't come over here willingly at all. But like all those excuses that they use for every other people, it just doesn't apply. And so they have to demonize Americans in a special way. They, oh, were you violent, etc. So as a result, when you look at it, like, well, African Americans were just standing there and they got stolen.
You guys so
That's not what
yeah,
happened.
they just were dragged here to
But it flies in the face of the narrative, right? I was told that they were the bad guys. Then, like, you
yeah.
read it, it's like, no, it looks like these guys are
Yeah. Your descendants were the bad guys. I think you're still the bad guy
ancestors.
for allowing this to happen, and that's the thing that they don't want to come to their sense, right? That they don't want to accept their reality, and
But that's still happening.
all right, yeah, well, it's happening because they don't even believe there's a such thing as systemic racism, right? And how laws that were made long time ago is still a problem in today's
Yeah.
society, and
I
they
mean,
don't
not
want to
not
change
just
it.
laws, but everything. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, the structure is.
I was reading about Skid Row, Los Angeles, like here in California. That was made on purpose. That's not an accident. That's like purpose for the purpose of containing undesirables.
Sorry.
Yeah. So as
Yeah.
it's meant to be that section of Los Angeles cut out specifically for homeless people, mentally ill people, uneducated people.
Hmm.
That's the point of Skid Row. It was designed that way, right? And
Yeah.
so that's how it's just like that's how it gets modified. Now you design the space. Now 50, 60 years later, after it has been designed, it's a gigantic problem that everyone else, right? It's like it feeds itself at that point. So even though everyone's like Skid Row is bad, we need to fix it, we need to fix it, we need to fix it. It's so bad where it's just like, oh, hospitals keep dumping people.
Yeah.
You're homeless, you kind of go there. It feeds itself. It just continues to feed itself. And then the amount of resources that it takes to fix it, it's so large that it's like, well, can't really even make a dent in it because it requires so much. You just don't have the kind of in a timely or effective and humane way,
Hmm.
right? He's like, I know there are politicians, a couple, actually a few elections who are like, oh, we'll just get the military,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
Yeah. And we did
that's what
hear
I'm talking
Trump
about,
and trying to use that, right?
right?
Yeah.
So like
Um.
that's the issue with happening. Is like Republicans right now are making a lot of these people stupid on purpose. They systematically make it stupid because as they start adding these problems, right? Because you can already see it. First, a lot of people, like I said, getting rid of Roe Wade is not going to stop people from. Women are not going to be able to get abortion, so you're going to have like probably gigantic population. But then the schools are going to be trash. So they're all going to be stupid, right? So they're probably going to be easily manipulated. But then you gotta realize, wait, we have a gigantic population. It good job because we effed up the schools, right?
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have a gigantic underclass of essentially uneducated people because of the way they're attacking the system. So it's not going to be a problem now, but when we're in our 70s, 80s,
It's essentially, I mean, that's why I kept saying that we keep going in circles because the next generation is going to have the same problem where politicians are trying to like take advantage of the fact that these people are uneducated and they're very politicized on these topics. Therefore, they're just going to keep talking and go, they're going to keep, trying to like, what's it called, mix the pot with all these stupid arguments and trying to radicalize their base. That way they vote in their favor, even though with all these leaders, they know they're doing it wrong, but they don't care because they're just trying to get ahead by getting their votes, right? Yeah.
get money.
And that's all they care about because, the more that people talk about these issues, we're never going to focus on the actual things that we have to change, right? But as strategies we done for many, many years, and it works.
Yeah.
And it works because the people who want to make the changes never win, right? They get crippled down by
they demonize them.
Yeah, they demonize them. They get crippled down, and then people who actually get the opportunity to go on stage are two motherfuckers who don't want to.
Yeah. I mean, a perfect example is that it's free college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I was telling you a couple weeks ago. Like they said that I have free college because it's too expensive. Yeah, half of the total cost of free college in this country, $1 billion, was just given to Ukraine, a heartbeat. No questions asked.
No
one looked at it and said, "Oh, it's too expensive."
No
one said, "Oh, where are we getting this money from?" Said, "Hey, here's $40 billion."
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, well, we can't get 80 for free college.
Baby, and the reason why is because they're giving all this aid to them because
that's true. That's not even including. It's not even including the weapons and military.
It's solely because they're gonna waste it back on them, and the people who are gonna get this money back are the corporations, right? All these corporations who are selling this aid to these people, whether if it's just in weapons or in other forms. So therefore, like, yeah, the government is giving them money so they could waste it on the corporation. The corporations just keep the money, all right? And since the corporate class is the one that rules in here in the United States, it's like they're okay, and then the politicians are getting bribes, through donations directly to their campaigns. So I was like, everything is working wonderful.
Yeah, because it's like they already gave 40. They're trying to give them another 20 after that. That's 60 billion in total if they. But no free college, so
and it's not.
It's one of those things where it's just like come on, man. Really? Look, I understand. I'm a opponent. I get it, but I hate to say this, like, it's not really our problem. It isn't.
No, none of
that. But it's like one of those things where I'm tired of president after president, leader after leader coming to the American people. Hey, we need you to make this sacrifice. And as soon as Americans make the sacrifice, the leaders come back and say, "Well, we can't give you anything for you. Broke. We don't." And then they'll say, "Oh, tax cut though."
Yeah.
You want some aid? Yeah.
And they keep spending money on frivolous bullshit that nobody wants.
Right. I mean, I think the perfect example is that's why we have the union drive in the United States like this. It's always the same thing. It's like everyone asks the American people, "Hey, we know this COVID. Please come to work anyway. Can you risk your lives to help make us money? We'll give you a little bit of extra money." And everyone's like, "Okay, cool." They're like 6 months after,
and they only got one check.
They were just like, "Okay, well, we're taking that away now." I was like, "What the hell? like what the hell? Like we're still in the virus. There's still a virus flowing around. Yeah, that's cool, but we're not gonna pay you."
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck? And then even some of the tiniest things, like I remember, what was it that what's his name? Chris Chris Smalls, right? On Amazon.
Yeah,
Yeah, he all he asked for was better COVID accommodation. That's it.
yeah,
That's all he asked for. Was have better accommodation for COVID. I think they wanted like hand sanitizer, wanted like social distancing in the factory. That's it. They didn't even say stop working. They said they said better COVID protection. I
yeah.
think they might
Better
have also
better
wanted
work
sick time off,
conditions in
right?
general.
Right. And they're like, all right.
You're fine.
So this guy, after he worked through the pandemic, they're like, you're like they straight help go fuck it.
But
Like, it's crazy.
this is what they do, and it's dumb because they shoot themselves in the leg. Now Chris Mullin is the biggest leaders in unions, right? Trying to unionize everyone in Amazon.
Hey, yeah, that's the thing too. Like, good for him. I'm happy that they did it. A lot of unions are starting to pop now because I think people finally realize they can't trust their employers.
No,
Not
no,
your
you
best.
can't. They're not.
Your player is not your friend. They're not looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for
Mm,
them and they pay them to look out.
yeah. So even though they try to run these news articles saying how like, oh no, we all are family. We all like look for backs, and I was like, corporate doesn't look after us. Like, name ones that they done it. They never do. Like they want us to cover their back, but
Maybe you'll find a business.
yeah, no, like,
Oh,
I'm not talking about little family business, own family
right.
business, right? I'm talking about corporate business, right? They're always gonna make decisions in their favor because they care more about profits of their own employees.
Yeah, it's like what was that? The Albert Schultz, CEO of Starbucks. He came out and says, "Oh, the company's being assaulted."
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
by unions. I was like, they're the outside dark forces energy is trying to come into our
Right.
yeah,
Like that's what you're dealing with. Like they're not your
yeah,
friend. Not your friend.
and talking about corporations kind of backstabbing the people and their consumers. Let's talk about the baby shortage formula thing going on here in the United
Formula
States.
shortage.
Yeah, baby formula shortage. My bad. There's currently going on here in the United States, and the Biden administration has kind of acted right away trying to solve this issue like it should. I'm gonna give props to the Biden administration. I don't usually do that because we know that they don't like to do nothing. But in this case, Biden has call upon the production, what's it called? The Production Act?
I think it's called, bro.
Yeah, production where, uh uh is trying to solve but it's trying to like solve this issue by producing the baby formula.
Defense production.
Yeah, okay, defense production where we can literally just produce the baby formula here, but in other means, right?
Yeah,
However,
you could pretty much hijack or repurpose effectively to
uh,
make it stuff. It's supposed to be for military equipment, but I guess it
it
applies
could
to
be
anything that's
yeah, it could
national
be used
security.
of anything that is needed in
Right.
an emergency. And this has been done through, I think, the Second World War, right? Where
Yeah.
they put a lot of women into factories to make these airplanes and all these things that they needed.
We're gonna
Eh,
suspend sexism.
yeah, and they were like, "Oh, we're feminine. This is about feminism, bro." Either way, besides that, the Biden administration uh, realized that the baby formula shortage was due to the fact that there was four big companies that make this baby formula, and one of the biggest, one of the four biggest of all four of them, kind of stopped making baby formula since there were some bad baby formula being made. There was going against the rules, and some babies, due to that, some babies were dying and getting sick, and ended up in the emergency room because of it. So they shut down this company, and that's it. They just shut it down, and they forgot about the fact that these companies supply a lot of the baby formula here in the United States. And then
Yeah.
they it came back and bite it on their ass when they find out that they had run out of baby formula.
So let's not make it deserve to be shut down.
Mhm.
It's not a mistake that this is the company whose formula was found to kill babies. It deserved to be shut.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend that that's not the
And
case.
it wasn't by mistake, like, oh, if we didn't
Right.
know that this was going on in our factories. Thank God you find out, right? No, it was like they knew and they did let it happen. And then
Problem
the government
is,
had to come in and step in and
right.
shut them down.
The problem is that this apple to fail is now a real formula on the market because is these usually get concentrated
Hmm.
in one of those cases. Company was so big, provided so much formula, shut down, it had a severe impact on the supply of formula. Is the issue with this is why the United States has antitrust laws on the book. I have to really check these companies because now they have to try to reopen it, even though it was killing people. They have to try to fix it and reopen it because if they don't, it hurts people in the United States. That's too big to fail. This is probably a perfect example. Again, again, it's disappointing that a company like this has to, open. But now, like I said, because you need the hopefully somehow be all right.
Yeah. And the way that the Biden administration is trying to fix this problem right away is by sending the troops over to Europe and Canada to buy baby formula for them. And it's ironic, right? Why can't we just do this for everything? Like, for example, I think we try to pass a lot to bring down the prices of the drugs, right?
Prescription
And
drugs.
prescription drugs, and obviously they voted against it. Not
Remember,
surprising.
guys. Remember, guys. The Democrats were saying. Remember Cory Booker. Canada, we don't know Canada's standards. We can't trust them. They could kill you. Yeah, I mean, their drugs could kill you, right? You don't know their standards. I don't know why we're buying formula from them.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, all of it could
Yeah.
get you killed. That's why we can't pass the
And
bill.
let's not forget how Bernie Sanders took some people from the United States to Canada to buy their insulin for very cheap, and they said it was so cheap that they bought enough insulin for a whole year.
Like, I would argue that if you really want, if Canada and Mexico need some economic support, because this is what your government needs to do. You need to fund some buses from the United States to Mexico, from the United States to Canada,
Mhm.
for Americans to get prescription drugs. They'll buy it in your country instead. The United States can't stop you. Well, I guess they could stop you from. The United States can't stop the citizens from going over the border. It's already in the trade agreement, so it's already free trade. Agreement. The buses got a deal. Send some buses over. Make sure they go as far as they can into Montana, Washington, from Mexico to Washington, Montana, Mexico to Maine, from Canada to Texas, Canada to Florida. Okay, all the way across the United States. Boom, you got hundreds of billions of dollars from them. Buy your insulin,
Mhm.
buy your shit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll be damned if there's not any smuggling going on in the United States.
I would rather the United States lose all that economic of prescription drugs than to see Americans die of stupid shit.
Essentially, yeah. Like if you,
I would take it.
like, this is why a lot of Americans tend to work in jobs that they don't like because they want to keep the insurance and their benefits, and that's the only reason why they want to stay. Because look, we have great insurance benefits that is keeping my one of my family members alive, and therefore I'm not gonna leave this job, even though if I hate it. All
That's
right.
the point. That's the point to lock you in.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part about it. But like I said, if governments of Mexico and Canada want to go out and fund it so you can bring Americans there to buy your stuff, money. I would rather every pharmaceutical company, or maybe not company, our companies are so I would rather every pharmaceutical, I guess, like a supplier and reseller go bankrupt in the United States, lose that all that money for stupid stuff that we already had medicine for. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
I was like, go
And
ahead, do
don't
it.
get me wrong, those Latinos in the community, we find people who are smuggling medicine here in the United States, and they sell it to us for very cheap.
I
And
100% support it.
and don't get me wrong, a lot of people will say, "Oh, you don't know if it's like outdated medicine." Well, you could read right
I,
there.
Look, I would rather them take, because you could get it from like actual.
Yeah,
I would rather them take that chance than not get it at all. That's the problem, is people are not getting it. So I'm just like,
yeah. But anyways, coming.
I 100% support.
Imagine selling baby formula outside right here on the corner.
And that's the saddest part about it, man. I don't know why people just don't get it. It's like the more things you give and make money, they're gonna do it. Why wouldn't they? It's
Yeah,
free money.
and
Like, it's free money.
and it's funny because people like a lot of like narco, a lot of like drug dealers who happen to be in the business of selling drugs, especially like cocaine and stuff like that, right? They are leaving that behind because they see the production of avocados in Mexico towards selling to the United States more profitable than making drugs.
And that's the thing, man. These guys still the oil. We did this oil story a couple years ago where they were like siphoning oil out of the pipes
Yeah,
just to sell it. They were like, avocados, pharmaceutical medicine.
yeah,
Crazy, man.
yeah. But
Why people do that? It's
but just going back to the baby formula shortage, the right administration is doing the right thing by invoking the Defense Production Act,
yeah.
and trying to solve this problem in the long term, unless at least. And but short, in the short term, that obviously they bring in from Europe and Canada, ironically, and and also they're trying to, I guess, speed up the progress of opening back that huge, I guess, factory in Michigan, back up, right? And obviously they're trying to go through the regulations, obviously, and not have the same problem back again. But in the way this society works, I think it's gonna happen again somewhere else.
But
They might all the other companies that might turn out the same problem. We're like doing in like shady
But
back shit.
the thing is that the United States, like, there's no regulation against it. And I'll agree, a lot of companies do, even if you have regulation or not, it doesn't matter. Shady stuff.
Yeah,
But the thing is that I would rather that shady stuff benefit the average person, not benefit. It's like I said, like, if I had a choice, if I had a friend who had like get insulin, and it's just like, look, man, gotta pay 10 grand. I know it's not this much. Pay 10 grand to get it legit. You pay like $100, up, get it 80. But I know, like, not gonna die from it, or it has like decent quality control, like
mm,
Mexico or something. I'm gonna do it. Say, bro,
yeah,
Mexico.
yeah,
Doesn't even matter. It's not even a choice. It's
yeah,
not even complicated.
yeah,
Mexico or Canada, don't even buy that stuff. Just don't go across it. Don't pain the idea of paying attention.
yeah,
Mexico, stop wasting everyone's time. Buy a stack, right, and then move on with your life. It's just like, why it's so expensive? Like, a lot of it being produced here, right? It's like it's 100% price gouging, like everyone. It has consequences. Consequences that people die. Not worth it in my opinion. I I would rather make half the amount of money I make right now. More people live to see make all the money I'm making right
yeah,
now,
and that
like 800 people die.
and that's all the conversation, right? They could tax us, like we could be in favor of increasing the taxes here and there, but
The thing
it
is,
doesn't really make any changes if the
it's
government
not.
is not even putting anything. We're not. they're not voting for Medicare for all. They don't want to even pass.
Yeah, it's not even the case of raising the like putting the money that we do have towards the things
Yeah,
people
there's a
want to be
yeah,
put towards to. Like it's just that for some reason our politicians think they're better than us, that they know better.
yeah, and
So everything we want, screw it.
look, and let's not get it twisted. None of us like when we see our check and then they have cut off a big chunk of it, and then we think about it. Wait. So where are these? What is this all money all going? Are they going towards things that we want, or
Right.
is just being fucking spending on bullshit that on wars?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's the main thing. Is like I already hate seeing tax taken out, but I hate it more when I know that's going to
Yeah, like corporate
like
what they
tax cuts.
yeah, tax cuts. And I was like, bro, I understand when conservatives say, "Oh, we don't like taxes. I don't want to." Yeah, but the thing is, I think you will be in favor if we waste our money on something that will get back into society, right? Wasting it on structure, right? Yeah, or yeah, just like making our infrastructure better, Medicare for all, free tuition college, it's stuff that will make society better, and it will help you and your family. Right? If it's helping you in that sense, I'm sure most of you would just okay. I'm in favor of increasing my taxes a little bit, right? And yeah, that's just in the sense of baby formula thing. I think it's gonna get solved right away because obviously they bring him back baby formula from Canada and Europe, and they keep doing that until they solve the situation with this factory that got shut down, right? And then everything is gonna go back to normal. And it obviously, let's not. Before we move on this topic, let's just point out the fact that some people are using this to politicize the whole conversation right now they're having for the elections. Some Republicans are saying that that regulations is what led to the baby formula shortage in the first place, which is crazy. Oh yeah, regulations is the reason why they shut down the company. If you
This is
didn't,
all you have to. All you have to say this. Whoever said that? Said that?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's
Whoever said it, just turn it and says, just go on stage and say, "He's why he doesn't want regulation."
he won't care. I mean, he already they
Of course they
already.
won't. Of course they won't care.
I
Have a
mean,
first problem.
let's just bring back the fact that all Republicans voted against a 28 billion, I think, bill that would help the situation with the baby formula, right?
Yes, they did.
And then Biden had to insurrect his executive powers to say, "Oh, okay, you guys don't want to do it. Let me do it myself." All
Yeah,
right.
pretty much.
And everyone voted against it. Obviously, the Democrats did not, but all Republicans voted against it. So the ironic thing that they're right now is saying we care about the unborn, but once you're born, you're fucked, right? And and that's pretty much it. And then obviously we have some Democrats saying dumb shit about that's the way, that's how our system works when it comes to the our capitalism one is like freedom market, the free market, that's how it works, and it should be like that. And what was his name? Pete Buttigieg is the one who has said, oh, that's how free market works, and if children die because of it, so be it.
Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg always doing some dumb shit.
Pete Buttigieg.
All right, so let's move on to some. Since we are on the topic of talking about Republicans right now, Donald Trump, obviously, we could believe that he has a massive grip on the party itself, and a lot of Republicans were afraid of that, and they're having an internal war of seeing who takes back the party. Right? Is it gonna be a Donald Trump for the next 10 years until he dies or something, or a Republican's gonna fight back and try to take charge and trying to stick it to Donald Trump, saying, "See, you don't have the total grip in our party, right?" And this is what's going on right now in Georgia. Obviously, there's races amongst Republicans and Democrats to get the nomination for their party, and one of them has to be Kemp, right, in Georgia, who's running against. Let's see who's running against. Brian Kemp is going against David Perdue. All right, and and obviously Brian Kemp is winning by a landslide, and Donald Trump has kind of come out in public and said that Brian Kemp is a traitor, and people in Georgia should not vote for him because he's not in Trump's side in one way or another. And let's not forget, Brian Kemp has been a very, when you say, bootlicker of Donald Trump for many years. And the reason why Donald Trump doesn't like him is because when Donald Trump lost in 2020 and he was trying to gather support of, overturning the rule of the fact that people voted in one way in favor of Joe Biden, Brian Kemp said, like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to come out and say that you won because you didn't. And Donald Trump, to whoever said that in public, to every single Republican who actually has said that in public during that time, he has come out and despised them by a lot. But people in Georgia, they asked him, hey, look, so you're voting for Brian Kemp, even though Donald Trump has said not to vote for him and to vote for his opponent. What are your opinions? And say, look, I love Donald Trump. I will vote for him in a heartbeat. But he's run on this, and he should, shut the fuck up, kindly, because we like Kemp and we're gonna vote for him.
Oh.
That's the bottom line of what's going on in Georgia. And obviously, Mike Pence, who was Donald Trump's vice president for 4 years, has come out in favor of Brian Kemp. And this is what the whole situation is going on right now with Donald Trump. That obviously Mike Pence is the one side where Republicans were trying to keep a foot on the White House by putting him under Donald Trump. And now Mike Pence, who did not vote in favor of Donald Trump, right? Because Mike Pence did have a vote once the Joe Biden thing where Donald Trump was going on, where the insurrection happened, and then Mike Pence had the opportunity to vote in favor of Donald Trump to take the White House again for another 4 years. But he said, you know what, I'm not gonna vote. We're just gonna let Joe Biden win. All right. And Donald Trump didn't like that. Therefore, Mike Pence is in the other side of the spectrum. So what do you think about this, Kenneth?
It was expected. I mean, Trump hasn't really he's been talking, but one, he scammed his supporters a lot. But he said he still loved them. I think the thing is that Brian Kemp, governor of Georgia, for a while,
and people like him
now, about 3 years now. Yeah. I don't know. I can't really tell why. Well, I guess Trump just doesn't like him. So those things where it's like, if that's not it, then. I mean, the other guy is worse. And I just think that the whole of the Republican Party, I don't think it's really a whole of Republican. Okay, well, I guess it is a whole. Because Republican Party likes Trump more eats in the Republican Party, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you say that, but then you also discuss or argue in favor of the fact that Trump is part of that elite. Yeah, I mean,
not really. They don't like him either.
No. I mean, one thing is that a lot of people didn't like George W. Bush.
The thing is, Trump isn't. Like he is an elite. He's not really a part of the Republican circle.
Oh, part of the Republican.
Because they don't like him. So their thing is why do the Republican Party like him? The reason why is that complicated. Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
People don't like Hillary Clinton. You say whatever reason you want to be like her.
Yeah.
Gerrymandering, whatever.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like,
but
the same right now with Kamala Harris. People don't like her.
Yeah, but unlike those two individuals that you just mentioned, Trump actually wins because he has the vote. Yeah, and
Oh,
don't get me wrong.
no.
Get me wrong. Hillary Clinton's very popular amongst the Democratic Party and the base, but as you can see, she was not able to win the general election against him.
Because that's the thing. Outside of Democrats,
Yeah,
he's like if you take people who have no political affiliation, take Republicans, they obviously hate it. Even in the Democratic Party, I don't think it's like a vast majority. I think it's like maybe 52, 53% like her. Like, I don't even think it's super crazy. So let's see. Then on top of that, she just came out and this came out. They found out that she was the one who.
really. I mean, we know that she's a very dirty politician. Every politician plays very dirty, right?
Think about it, right?
So
I just found a poll here. So it's a breakdown. 36% of people like overall.
yeah, it was one of the most hated politicians.
Like this is the one thing that hate her at the same rate. 36% of millennials like her. Or like
Yeah, over the years she's come. Look, people hold their nose and voted for her on 2016. All right.
Apparently not.
Well, no, some people did. Right, some people did. Even those people who were like, "Nah, don't vote for her." Right? They said, "Look, it's either her or Donald Trump." And the same thing happened in 2020 when they hold their noses and voted for Joe Biden. All right. Joe Biden is also not very liked right now. You see his he right now. What was the thing that they measure for right now? His popularity, right?
Yeah.
Or
you can call it favorability.
Oh, his popularity right now is not doing so well. It was at 35%, 36%.
Who, Trump?
No, Joe Biden.
Yeah, his popularity is trash.
Yeah, so she's not doing so well, and maybe because of this formula, baby formula shortage thing, and the way he's going about it might bump him a little bit, but he's also not doing so well. I think he even made fun of himself at the correspondence dinner, right, where he said that his numbers were not doing so well.
No, yeah, but yeah, okay. I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna pretend. Hillary Clinton in the Democratic Party was still more popular, but I think the reason I don't really want to rehash it, but one of the reasons she was unpopular is that was one thing. All the things that she railed against came to down.
It
just where
it just
people like fake people.
It's just a mirror image of Kamala Harris, bro.
Kamala Harris is very sure.
Kamala Harris comes out the same way, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because the thing is, they come off as people who just want to speak. Literally, they don't really care about the United States.
Yeah, they're not genuine.
Just I want to be president because it has a lot of clout. Yeah. I want that clout.
They're not very genuine people in general. Yeah, but just coming back to this grip that Donald Trump is trying to keep over the Republican Party, obviously is not very prevalent. He still has a lot of influence amongst the party, amongst the voters as well. But some of the voters are saying, look, when it comes to this thing about you not winning in 2020, we don't want to hear about it. We had the January 6th thing going on, and you fucked that up. But somehow you don't want to let it go. You don't want to let go of the fact that you lost, and that people didn't come and save you, right? And if that's a problem, that if that's a problem, going to continue with those voters and you, I'm sorry, man. Better you better get a sense of what we want. Look, we love you, but you got to let this go.
I wouldn't even say that. I think personally, like the guy said, vote for him in a heartbeat. Oh, no questions asked. I think when it comes to like federal stuff, they'll listen to Trump. When it comes to like local stuff, governors and peers and stuff, how did you go?
No, look, if they're very
Like,
popular in that state, obviously those people will have some
well, I mean,
say.
not only that, but those
But
people are really good at telling the difference federal, state.
yeah, but I mean, saying, but they said like Brian Kemp, he's very well known and very liked on his state, right? So a figure like that is not gonna be movable as other people who are very irrelevant and just put in place just because they
Right?
voted for Donald Trump. You get me? If they don't care about those people, then Donald Trump is gonna have a big say. But in this
That's true.
case, he's biting in his ass because people like Kemp and they say, "Look, we like you, Trump, but can you shut the fuck up a little bit because we're gonna vote for him whether you like it or not." And that's what's going on. And then Trump is that kind of guy who, when he sees that the people like him, he's gonna stay back. He's gonna say anything because he does. I seen him a show where obviously it was done here in L.A. and you could say you could see the whole like it was like Jimmy Kimmel show, and Jimmy Kimmel was like kind of making fun of his to his face just to get a reaction from him, and
Yeah.
you can see Donald Trump was trying to see if the people in that stage, not the people in the stage, the people who was watching him and that during the show,
Yeah. In the
kind of
audience.
yeah, in the audience kind of corroborated what he was gonna try to say, or supported his views, and he always came back to say, "So what do you guys think?" And he wanted to see the reaction, and once he didn't get a reaction, he kind of back off. He just like, I'm not gonna come here and fight, or
Right.
because I'm not gonna get the support from the audience." And as you can see,
Right.
whenever he does a rally, he always goes back to the audience reaction to go off and kind of go through his chest and trying to come up with shit that he likes. If he doesn't get a reaction from the audience, then he becomes little in a way, and that's what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. He just kind of stayed quiet because the audience was not agreeing with him at all, and he let Jimmy Kimmel just go and roast him in the face. But that's when that's going on, with the Republican Party. Hopefully, we'll see more of this. I'm sure we
Yeah. I
will.
mean, the election is today
Yeah,
for Brian.
yeah, and he's
Brian
gonna
Kemp.
he's gonna win more likely.
Yeah, he's winning.
Yeah. So let's move on to an exclusive. I think this might be a very quickly topic. Um, there's been caught an Iranian, there's a U.S. citizen who happens to be from an Iranian descent, who was plotting a plan to kill George W. Bush in Dallas. And obviously, he has been radicalized by ISIS through online meetings. And he was using the app WhatsApp app. And by this, he was kind of in touch with people outside the United States who were ISIS members in Iran, right? And in this case, during those text messages that he had plans to go over in Dallas, and no, he had plans to bring people from Iran and smuggle them in through the south border, right, between Mexico and the United States, and then go to Dallas and do a tour around George Bush's house, and then just sneak in somehow one way or another, and go and search for George Bush and kill him. That's basically was the plot to kill George
Uh,
Bush. And
he messed up the moment he said he already messed up.
was it?
He messed up as soon as he said coming in from the Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Any brown person coming over that border to get shot.
Oh, so you were saying that little immigrants get shot? They do. Some people get it. That's
You
real.
already messed up. Like you're not coming from Canada. The plan lost.
Either come from Canada. But either way, so the reason why they were able to cut this dude is because two people came forward and kind of ratted him out. I said, "Look, this dude is crazy. he's planning something horrendous.
it-
And they went and had a search warrant against him. He was ready under the radar, but they couldn't do anything because
thing is that I don't understand what that would do. W. Bush would do what now? He's
yeah,
not president. He literally has no influence.
Bro, it's like what?
Politics.
Everyone
hates him.
Wait, how it's like what? 14 years too late, bro.
Right? It's like I don't know. Like, it's just like just a time waste of time to just. Oh yeah, but it's wishful thinking to think you would even like that. You lose at the Mexican break.
And it's funny because this comes out after George W. Bush had that scaff, right? During gaff. They had that gaff during a public speech that he was doing in favor of Ukraine, and he wanted to say, "Oh yeah, this was this war," and he needed to say in Ukraine was illegal, right? He said Iraq, and then after that he said, "Oh, excuse me, I'm 86. I'm losing my mind." Obviously not. He knew what he was saying.
But is 86?
Yeah, he's like, and everyone was laughing because like a moment of truth. Oh my God, you never seen this from W. Bush, where he was like, he knew that the war in Iraq that he started was illegal.
Yeah, a lot of people think that that's that stuff now. It's because it really gets to him. Because war in Iraq was pretty. Saw some of those pictures.
It's almost like did you see? Everyone has seen his reaction when 9/11 happened, right? And obviously, all these conspiracy theorists say, "Oh, that's the moment he knew. Okay, we are about to go to war." And not like he knew then. Oh my God, we are about to go to war. It's like he knew. Okay, the plan is going according. All right,
they have a reason.
Yeah, this is according to perfection.
They have a reason. 9/11. Right? Like now we have a reason. We just have to get the machine, kick off the machine.
Yeah, kick off the machine. Yeah. And so
that's the thing. Like, I think it's like, well, okay, like I don't want George W. Bush to be kidnapped or by any person.
Oh, not anymore.
But no, this guy is just. I don't know why. Not George Bush, but the guy who's gonna somehow kidnap.
No.
Is an idiot. Well, I guess George Bush is.
Yeah.
This guy is a terror. It's like I said, what would that have done? All you would have done was probably just awesome people. And from that point on, it's just like what purpose does it serve? Like,
don't get me wrong, this is gonna get politicized again. I wouldn't be surprised if someone brings it up during a stupid.
Joe Biden needs to come out. I protected my American dream. I could have let him go down. All the Democrats wanted.
Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong,
stick my neck out to save him.
This kind of plots happen all the time. We know that some KKK members wanted to kill Barack Obama many times.
A lot of people wanted to kill Barack Obama. Like, I remember when the Secret Service came out and said like that's like the most they ever had.
Doing when the Barack Obama won, and he was gonna go to his inauguration for the first time, there was a group of people who were ready to go kill him.
They wanted to kill him. There was a guy who wanted to use lactic flakes to poison him at the inauguration. I think they said he said I think the Secret Service said he got more deaths than like presidents get higher presidents.
we know why.
Bad.
Right, we know.
Of course
why.
we know why. That's why.
He got demonetized. What? Is it demonetized?
You know the reason why is because
Burning Bro. It wasn't Burning Bro. No, it wasn't the Bernie Bros. We know why, right? We know why. He's the first African American president, and he was also, called a communist. He also called the devil.
He was a Muslim.
Yeah, everything. We know that we know that Barack Obama's actual name is Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah, he worked for
we're Gaddafi.
Yeah, he wasn't born here. That's true. He wasn't born here. He was born in Africa. He wanted to help. He wanted to help Al Qaeda.
Yeah, yeah. But look, there's all these stupid,
Yeah.
stupid things that they said about him, and we could sit here and discuss actual things that we have against Barack Obama and the things he did and the things he stands now. The fact that he has come out and said that, yeah, no, none of those reasons, right? The reason fact that he has come out and said that if he had been a politician in the 80s, he would be a Republican.
Don't forget my favorite one. He wanted to make sure that black people took the country.
Yeah, right. We know what happened. Look,
he wanted to make all white people.
During those massive shootings that happened during his, I think the last years on his belt as a president,
It happened.
he didn't. Yeah, he didn't move a finger. He said, "Look, I'm not gonna stand. I'm not being in the middle." You know how Barack Obama is. He didn't move a finger to do anything.
Ray, why don't you just come out?
What?
So just admit it.
What? He said it.
He said he decided.
He said, "No. Look, I'm not gonna go that far, but I don't like. And look, I don't like Barack Obama. I will admit that he's a very charismatic person, and he was.
He's a fantastic politician.
Yeah, he's a good public speaker. He's aware. He likes to be. He's a very likable as a personality, but I will go that far.
He's probably one of the best politicians. He's not a good public servant.
No.
He's good at being a politician.
Yeah.
Which you want to hear, double speaking, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Loves to like actually big stuff. You just look at the Flint water crisis.
Yeah, that's true. That was the worst thing.
Even if you weren't paying attention to drink the water, just look at the cup of water. It didn't change. Like
no.
the amount of water in the cup didn't change. Yeah,
he didn't even touch that water. It's like, no, and I'm sure. And he came out. He came out to support a Republican politician in Michigan, bro. He wasn't even part of his party, but he went to save him.
And then on top of that, when Joe Biden was having issues, what would he do? That's what everyone was talking about. He knows what he's doing. You can't lie. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And so this is what happened. The ISIS dude got caught. He's under, he got arrested. George Bush is safe. But, this is something that is going to be politicized. Even the fact that he said that he was going to bring people over the Mexican border, though Donald Trump is going to have a blast if he's smart enough. All right. So, you won't be surprised if you hear something like this later on. All right. So that's the ISIS stuff. You want to go into the water stuff here in California, or
we can talk about it briefly?
Yeah.
It's pretty much more the same.
Yeah. So this is just locally here in LA and in Cali. We're having a water shortage, a drought, and there's some regulations being placed so people will start wasting water by,
Right. So essentially what happened was in 2020, they asked everyone, hey, cut back on the water. 2022 comes around. People did. 2022, a lot of water that's being used in California actually went up by 20%. So now they're putting even harsher restrictions. And if it gets out of control, even more, they're making it a mandatory thing where they might end up shutting off water and all that stuff. So it's one of those things where there's really nothing you can do about it. It's a problem. But Republicans don't want to do anything about it because climate change in California is great. Right? And California is great because California
they're going to start bitching. They're going to start bitching when people start moving from here to their fucking states.
Like, I want to tell you right now is if you're in California, pass tech, turn that blue.
Okay. That's why a lot of people are getting mad.
Turn it blue. Okay, turn Texas blue towards blue. We'll see how fast climate change gets. Okay? They realize that all these people are coming down to those states. They're like, okay, we need to go past. All of a sudden, all these Republicans will be like hippies. Okay, you're gonna be out there demanding whoever the Democratic president is. Like, they just go to Texas, Florida. Don't get crazy in Florida, but go to Florida.
Well,
go to Georgia.
You're gonna create a war in Texas.
What we're gonna create is we're gonna see the most liberal Republicans that they're gonna be like, what? Climate change isn't real. What are you talking about? Climate change is 100% real. Okay, it's real as long as all these Californians are here. Okay, like
I mean,
that's
I
all.
would laugh my ass off when Texas start getting the same problems that we have here in Cali, where everything is just going up.
100% gonna happen.
Uh,
Everyone's moving to Texas. It's
yeah,
Texas
it already happening when in New York is over there.
happening in
But,
Florida.
yeah, it's happening in Florida. That's true. A lot of people are going out of Florida.
California and Florida, yeah. In Texas.
Either way, so what's going on here is some people say, okay, we accept the new restrictions that is going to kick in on June 1st. However, private pools are not being affected at all.
And that's the problem. It's like this I think I said that like a couple years ago at this point. Most of the water in California, so they want to build desalination plants to take the salt out of water, out of ocean water, use it. But the problem is most of the water in California is being used for shit, like watering your grass, putting it in a pool. Like if you stop doing that, you save like 80% of the water. Right. So it's like and until those laws, but we all know what happens, right? Rich people have pools, big ass laws with 8 million water. So who pays for Gavin Newsom's campaign? Well, they keep away with it. Changes because it's like the water, not everybody is you. Well, I don't maybe not everybody. My problem with the water isn't taking a shower, water your grass, washing your car,
Look, is that
filling your pool.
This is what okay. This is and it reads right here in the article. It says according to the association's government relations officer, John Norwood, a new swimming pool requires an average of 14 to 18 gallons. Oh, no way, 14 to 18,000 gallons of water to fill, amounting to a fraction of 1% of the city's annual water use, when taken as the sum of all new pool permits annually. Pools and their surrounding hardscaping also save water over time, Norwood said, because they often take the place thirsty lands, thus saving the water that's used to be used to eradicate what the pool replaces. There's simply no evidence that such a restriction saves any water, especially over the long term, he said. When people are saying why not pools are being restricted, it's because they don't even use most of the water. Most of the water is being used for watering.
Yeah, the vast majority is watering plants.
Yeah,
watering your lawn, water. So that's the vast majority.
The people, that's why they're not restriction pools, because the pools like they're there for like they use the same water over and over and over.
The thing is that problem is that talk about plants. People like that are not native to California. Those plants need more, I guess, climate control water, right? Like bring something from a rainforest, right? Shouldn't, but if you were to have a plant that's found in rainforest gets a lot of rain. So if there's no rain, you have to give it rain by watering it. So we multiply that over a lot of times. It's most of that. Not like I'll say the vast majority of the watering plant. But pools and car washes and all that stuff. Well, they are far washes. Also up.
So that's, I guess, the conversation we're having now in Cali. Who we're going to restrict, and why not private pools? If you're gonna do it, everyone do it to everyone. But people are gonna start bitching if they restrict their water usage for pools.
I mean, the only argument I can see for pools is that in California, so it'd be better for you to have a pool than an air conditioner if you got it. But at the same time, water is if you have water in your pool, you're gonna see some bears. You're gonna see some people out of your pool.
Drinking out of your pool. Well, so in other news, go buy a house that has a pool.
Oh, like
if you find a house, according to what I read so far online, is that people having trouble. Having trouble putting a bid in a house. And now, like say, for example, there's a house that's worth $800,000. Put a bid, and once they realize there's someone already outbid them twice. So there's a house that is being put on sale for 800,000, and the house sold for almost $1.5 million.
Yeah,
Right?
I think what needs to happen is you need to definitely recycle more water. Definitely need to change our energy around as well. So we're not using like hydro and all that stuff. And of course, actually have have grass and plants that should be here, right? That way they don't take 100 gallons of water. I think I told you the story before. They first started restricting water in California.
Mm.
And then like rich people who are like old, they're like, they moved to California so I could not have all these like like cut off their water. Great.
I mean, people try to pay a huge price, and they could afford it here in LA. Some people, I'm not talking about talking about rich people who afford it. And then what is a luxury, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like I said, it's like until everyone at the same. Earth has finite recyclable resources. People will try to look to things like clean desalination for example, kind of remedy that. There's no remedy. Only answer you got is whatever you're being super greedy with, because it's always going to cause some other problem. Like we can make solar panels all we want. It's still going to put pollution in the air to make the solar panel, right? Made from metal and glass and all carbon in the air. And then, same with water. You take the salt out of the ocean water, but then it's just being thrown away or used enough. I'm gonna say the ocean is gonna go away, but you're still gonna have the same. Oh, you can just have the big plants, right? Plant, right? Another plant that's gonna take more energy and more energy. Another electrical plant to fuel that plant is the only way to actually get out of this is cut back. Having a plant, Spain or a part of Africa or some part of South America, that's not important. And no one cares about that plant. Not important for you to have it here. Focus on, supposed to be here. How to take care of guys. Instead of trying to look for a new way to.
So you think? Do you think we should go to house and destroy all those plants?
With shotgun? Oh yeah, with what?
I mean, if you want a radical solution, I mean, it's like you have this plan. Do you know about this? Like, don't take it. Boom, cut it.
Is what it is, man. That's really the only way to do it. If you're in California, you should have plants, or maybe this region, because that's the consequence of it.
I think
it destroys the ecosystem, or requires more resources than actually otherwise.
I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna be the repercussions of doing that, because these plants been here forever. Not like they've been bringing him in the last 2 years.
Well, no, because if you stop supporting those plants and that's then nature should get rid of them. Without right? We're the ones who have to water them. We're the ones who have. So if we stop doing that, they have to essentially those, right?
Just die.
But if they're not used to this climate like other plants. Now some will, right? Some will be able to do that and they'll take over. Can't really stop that at this.
Well, that's it, I guess. We have run out of time. So, any last thoughts on any of the topics we have today, Ken?
Yeah, I was gonna say something. I was gonna make a joke. I think it's important.
How? Why not? Oh my god! Freedom of speech.
Huh?
Nothing. Either way, all right, guys.
But not freedom of consequence.
That's cool. Let's go. All right, guys. So make sure to save water. Obviously, coming on June 1st here in Cali, new restrictions are coming on. And also, Robis' way. We're gonna keep you guys updated about that. We'll see what happens.
Don't worry, you'll hear from us.
And when it comes to any ISIS members hearing us, don't. All right, guys. All right, guys. See you guys the next time. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.